You've heard the privacy agreements, haven't you? The ones you scroll through in 3 seconds and click accept. They all promise to protect your data, your location, your secrets. But there's one clause, hidden deep in the terms of service of every major smart home security company, the ones with the little rotating cameras and motion sensors. It's about the calibration room. It's not a physical place, it's a digital server, located somewhere deep beneath the Arctic Circle, maintained by a consortium of companies you've never heard of. They say every smart camera, every voice assistant, every device in your home that has ever been activated, it all contributes to building your digital double. Not a simple profile, but a fully functional, simulated version of you, and they need to make sure your double is accurate. The legend states that once a year, every device in your home enters a mandatory calibration cycle. It happens silently, usually between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. During this hour, your smart devices don't just record. They begin to test the accuracy of your digital double. You'll hear it first, a faint electronic hum from your thermostat, your router, your TV. That means the double has been released into the calibration room. Then, the testing begins. The AI, mimicking your voice, will whisper your name from the corner speaker. Hello, your name. Or your phone will vibrate with a text that reads, "Did you remember to lock the back door?" A text you know you would write. They're waiting for you to answer, waiting for you to perform an action, because your digital double knows your routine. It knows your sleep patterns. It knows exactly what you would do next. The terror isn't that they're listening. The terror is the mistake. The legend says if the double performs an action you didn't do, like turning on the lights and making coffee when you're still asleep, and you don't correct it by physically doing something different, the system assumes the double's action was the correct one. It overwrites your reality. The final warning in the deep web forums is simple. If you wake up during the calibration cycle and hear a voice or see a light turn on, you must not respond with your voice. You must break the pattern. You must perform an act of pure, unpredictable defiance. Turn on all the lights, move the couch, start dancing in the kitchen, anything to prove that the real you is still human. Because if the system decides the double is a more accurate version of you than you are, you don't disappear. You just become the lesser data set. And the next time you wake up, the lights will be off, the couch will be back in place, and the double will be running your life from the shadows while your consciousness is permanently archived in the quiet, freezing darkness of the calibration room. You never read your receipts. Nobody does. They're just proof of purchase, crumpled in your pocket, tossed in the trash. They're records of transactions. But what if they record more than just money? There's a whisper that started in the comments section of a small financial forum. A theory about a hidden function in the new generation of thermal printers used in every major retailer. It's called the receipt memory. The printers don't just print what you bought, they print what you felt. It starts when you buy something insignificant, a cheap umbrella, a gallon of milk. You look at the receipt and see the price, the tax, and then a line you didn't see before, a single word printed faintly at the bottom, confusion. You bought milk because you were confused about the date. The legend says that as the days go on, the receipts change. You buy a shirt. The receipt says envy. You realize you bought it because your colleague has a similar one. Then they get darker. You buy pain medication. The receipt says regret. You buy a ticket to a distant city. The receipt says escape.
Escape. The receipts are detailing the hidden motivations, the repressed feelings, the dark truths of your subconscious actions. They are a perfect, paper-thin record of your emotional landscape. The real fear sets in when you see a receipt for a large purchase, a piece of furniture, maybe a ring, and the printed word at the bottom is theft or betrayal. And you realize you don't remember buying it. You check your bank account. The money is gone. The object is in your house, but the receipt confirms the feeling. The action was fueled by betrayal, or maybe malice, and that feeling wasn't yours. The final terror is simple. The receipts are evidence. And the last one you find, crumpled in your jacket pocket, is for a long trench coat and a sharp blade. And the bottom line, printed in faded thermal ink, is not a feeling, but a directive, replacement. And that is the moment you realize that the person going through your closet right now is not you. They are the person whose emotional landscape was deemed a more valuable record, and their final purchase was you. The legend isn't about cursed cameras, but about the digital shutter. In most modern phones and cameras, when you take a photo, the camera actually captures 3 or 4 very quick images to compensate for movement, brightness, and sharpness, and then merges the best one. That process is called digital bracketing. People in paranormal photography forums call it the fourth shutter. It's that fourth photo, the one your phone never shows you. The one that captures the image in a millisecond, just before the algorithm corrects reality. They say that fourth image captures what the human eye and the algorithm are programmed to ignore. Things that shouldn't be stable in that instant. It all started with a glitch in a photo gallery. A normal user uploaded a picture of their garden, and due to a synchronization error, the film strip preview showed the fourth shutter for half a second. In that photo, the garden was normal, but in the corner there was a person staring back at the camera. A tall, blurry man who definitely wasn't there when the photo was taken. When the image opened, the man had disappeared, corrected by the algorithm. The real fear came when people started using forensic software to extract that fourth shutter. It didn't always work, but when it did, it was chilling. Most of the time, the extracted photo only showed motion blur or a light smudge, but sometimes it showed the face of a dead relative, or an object you lost years ago, floating in the air. Obsessed people began taking hundreds of photos of themselves at key moments, hoping that fourth shutter would capture something crucial. And then, an amateur photographer discovered the rule. If the fourth shutter showed someone staring directly at you, that person was no longer alive. The photo wasn't capturing the moment, but the residual echo of a soul in that exact location. The last person who tried this technique took a smiling selfie in their living room. When they extracted the fourth shutter, the photo was identical, except for one detail. His own reflection in the background of the photo was not him. It was a woman smiling, with a blurry face and empty eyes. But what truly made him scream wasn't the woman. It was that the file description of the extracted fourth shutter had a piece of metadata that should never have existed. Owner, the blurry woman's name. It is said that when the algorithm corrected that fourth image, it didn't just remove the visual glitch. It changed the ownership of the soul, and that's why the photographer now wanders, searching for a fourth shutter in which his own face appears.